All right, in this lesson, I'm going to talk about 3 services that accountants or auditors provide to their clients. A lot of times, some people will use these services interchangeably, but they really mean different things per se. And the reason you'll see very quickly of why that's done. We're going to be talking about something called assurance services, attest services, and auditing services. Okay. Now, the reason why this is typically misused is because an audit is also an attest function, which is also an assurance function. We can also say that not all assurance functions are attest functions, and not all attest functions are auditing functions. But all audit functions are an example of attest and assurances. So we can almost think of the overall umbrella of assurance services. Some services would just be assurance, and others would be a subsection of it called attest. And then some services would be attest services, and then a subsection of attest would be audit services provided by the auditor. Okay, so that's why sometimes you hear companies say we provide attest and audit services, or assurance and audit services, because in theoretically, an auditing service is an assurance service. Okay. An attest function is an assurance, okay? But not all attest functions are audits, and not all assurances are audits, okay? So that's one thing to know. It happens all the time. People go, what services do you provide? Assurance services. All assurance services? No, we just provide audits. So really, you're just an auditing firm, okay? Or they may say, we provide assurance services. Well, do you provide audits? No, we don't do audits, because audits are a function of assurance. So some people think of assurance as audits, but really assurance is just one small component of an audit. Okay? So what are these 3 services? What am I talking about? Well, let's start with the biggest and the baddest one, called the assurance. Assurance services are services to improve the quality of information for decision makers. It's usually it is completed by an independent party. An example would be like a home inspector. A home inspector is an assurance services. They provide a service to improve the quality of information for the decision maker. Who's that decision maker? The house buyer. Okay, so the house buyer is the decision maker, and typically that inspector is an independent third party. So that's what insurance. They just provide a service that helps you, the user of that information, make a better decision. Okay. Attest issues a report that is the responsibility of another party. There is usually a subject matter that needs to be independently reviewed. So an example of attest would be like when government sends money to a contractor for purposes of providing a service that the government wants to do, but the government doesn't want to take on it, so they outsource it. Well, the responsibility of providing that service is to a third party. The question is, are they using those funds appropriately? So the government may hire someone to attest, to issue a report that is the responsibility of another party, that the subject matter needs to be independently reviewed. So that might be an example of an attest service. The last one that we have is the audit service. An audit service is a service that reviews and evaluates evidence pertaining to management's assertions regarding the economic activities within the organization. That's what we're going to spend most of our time in auditing, because that's what we're learning. We're not really learning assurance and attest services. We're learning auditing. And we review and evaluate evidence pertaining to management's assertions regarding economic activities within the organization. So like we've talked about in like 3 lessons already, management has assertions. Our job is to obtain evidence and evaluate those evidence, and then imply those on management's assertions on economic activity within the organization. And the key word is economic activity. We're not looking at the entire company. We're just looking at the economic data or the financial information to that company. So in this lesson, I gave you an overview of attest, assurance, and audit services, and hopefully you have a better understanding, especially audit services and how they pertain to attest and assurance services at the end of the day. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you like what you saw, make sure you press the thumbs up button that's right below here. If you have any questions, make sure that you leave a comment or that question in the comment box below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you press the subscribe button. It's just below me. Hey, if you want more videos like this, make sure you go to www.patrickleemsa.com to see more videos like this, or if you just want to learn more about accounting. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.